Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dungeons and Drams. You know, I've said it before. I think I'm going to put a short together of all of your face right at the beginning of the thing.
That'd be so good.
If you guys are listening on the podcast, you should take a minute and go at least watch like the first 2 seconds of every one of these videos. It'll be fantastic for you.
Or wait for us to announce that short.
Yeah, right, exactly. Or do both. Anyway, so welcome everybody. We are here once again to soar the skies. In this case, we are over Akari. And we are here to drink some whiskey. Now, we were just talking about a whiskey right quick called Crab Trapper. So this is something I talked about on my channel a little while ago, where it is a whiskey that they make in New Hampshire. Technically not a whiskey, like legally not a whiskey because of the way they make it, but basically it's a bourbon that is mostly unaged, but when they are proofing it down, they are using water that they boil green crabs in.
That's worse.
Green crabs are an invasive species up in New Hampshire, so they pay people to go catch them all, and mostly they are just like killed and you can't even do anything. There's not enough meat on them to eat, so they didn't do anything with it. But the guy that runs this distillery, he was at one point a ecologist or something, whatever you'd be, and he's like, I hate that all these things are just dying for nothing, so let's at least boil some and make whiskey with it. No,
all the ideas you could have come up
I know.
with, that's what they chose.
So
I mean, that's creative, if nothing else.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So
something about that whole idea sounds wrong.
Ed, don't get any ideas.
It's a little weird. So I will just say it's Tamworth Distilling out of our distillery out of in Tamworth, New Hampshire, actually. So I went and actually did a video there because the idea was so intriguing. I went and filmed with the guy that makes the whiskey. So yeah, it was a wild thing.
Does he have like a cocktail for it? Like a weird cocktail?
This little tiny bottle here costs $65 because of how like labor intensive it is to produce. But they only make them like a couple months a year or two, so it's a little weird, but it's still
$1 for every crab that died.
Yeah.
For that bottle.
Well, I forget what he told.
Drinking wild turkey to this, I'm very confused.
Well, I'm gonna do that too. Well, it's all animals.
Background conversation.
I'm trying to think. They do some other kind of whiskey that incorporates turkey as well. While you guys, why don't you guys tell us what you're drinking, and I'm gonna go find that real quick.
What did they do to the turkey? What did they do?
I know, like I'm already so scared. Well,
All
right. Beforehand, Bill said he was going to be drinking wild turkey because it's Turkey Week, and he does it every year. And if you've never seen one of his reviews with his amazing hat, you need to.
I love my hat.
So I decided. I realized that I had 4 Russells because a friend just gave us another one that's from the Camp Nelson Rickhouse. So I'm doing a little flight using the little aged dinner kit.
Fun.
First, I asked Bill, how sober do I need to be tonight?
And I replied, not at all, I believe. Yeah.
If you risky whiskey, you gotta do them all. Shots.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
So who's taking me to the hospital?
Booker's just gonna be carrying her all night.
Right. TaLin needs to get drunk too.
So while we're on the topic, before we move on, so 2 things, just because it's worth putting up there. Let me see if I can throw this up on the screen. This is a turkey whiskey that they do. It's called Bird of Courage. And it says roasted turkey flavored whiskey, which I did not try.
So bland.
I've heard of that. I did hear that whiskey. I remember it being announced.
Yeah, that's that one sounds cool.
It. That's the one.
So it's dry and bland.
Yeah. And they also have another one. It's like called like Ode to Musk or something like that, where they take it's like a muskrat or something like that. I don't remember.
I have heard of that one.
Or no, it's a beaver. It's a beaver's musk gland is somehow yeah. They do all kinds of weird stuff.
They've got a little gland underneath their tuchus.
Yeah.
And they make things out of it. Yeah.
That's just something like raspberry flavoring or something. Didn't I hear that at one point, or is that a rumor? Is that like an urban legend?
It wouldn't surprise me.
What?
Did they make
that's how they make raspberry flavoring from beaver musk?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
Just
Weird.
something shouldn't happen. Like
Yeah.
You know, you might as well try it once at least.
Yeah.
like Ghostbusters 2 should have never been made, and either should have that whiskey.
What? I like the second Ghostbusters.
too. Yeah,
No, I'm sorry, not Ghostbusters 2. The Ghostbusters remake from like a few years ago.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Then I
okay,
agree
okay,
with that.
okay.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that was
like.
I like that one more than the first one personally.
Ghostbusters,
With the
Ghostbusters
ooze and all
2,
that.
I liked,
Yeah. I was like, wait, what? Is that a thing? People don't like that?
Oh, I did have, before we move on, just because we were talking about it, I did have thoughts of doing a one shot of having you guys face a turkey style Hydra. Which I found some inspiration online. I'm throwing this up on the screen right now. It's like a five-headed turkey. There was a cool name for it, and I can't remember what the name was. And then I was also like, oh, could like a turducken be a monster?
God,
and each one of the heads they would all have different heads, and they would be different things. But yeah, it didn't come together.
Thank God.
But that would have been fun.
It would get 5 attacks against us, I imagine.
Oh,
and then how many claws does it have, Bill? How many claw attacks does it have?
You could have called it.
Yeah,
You could have called it the Pentacock.
Now you're talking.
Well,
Sounds familiar.
I think that.
Are we back to the echidna thing?
Yeah, I think Clifton gets that as his next level up.
You gotta know where the lasers are coming from, guys.
Oh, man. That's
Whoa,
terrifying.
the lasers just moved south.
So,
Is anybody else drinking wild turkey?
Yes,
I
me.
will be, yes.
I got all the.
I got a pick from one of our local groups out here. We do like a virtual, like, kind of like a tasting club thing. It's called the Virtual Tasting Society. Very clever name. But no, we have a 9-year pick. Not sure the details of this one. I wasn't part of the pick, but it is Warehouse.
What warehouse is it?
Don't tell me. I don't know.
That is.
I can't.
I can't even read it.
I have no idea.
Floor. Warehouse.
Floor 4.
What is that?
TYRF?
Oh,
Is that a thing? Tyrone.
That is Tyrone F. Tyrone
Gotcha.
F.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, it's a really good pick. I just wasn't sure about the details of it, so that's what I'm drinking.
Generally, Russell's picks are anywhere between 9 and 11 years old. They all come in 110 proof. They're all the same proof, but the locations from where they are do make a difference.
And this is how you know.
I'm actually excited. Oh, nice. Cliffy. I'm excited because 2 of the ones I have that are from different states, but they were distilled on the same day. They're in the same warehouse. It's just one of them was dumped almost a year later.
What warehouses
So it's like,
do you have there?
That's really cool.
These 2, so of the 4, these 2 are Warehouse K, floor 4.
Oh, you got 2 warehouse Ks there?
Yeah, 2 Ks, 1 M, and then Camp Nelson.
Which Camp Nelson? Is Camp Nelson?
It's a C and E, floor 4.
Oh, Camp Nelson E.
Yeah.
You got some bangers there, TaLin.
You know, people
First of
think
all,
I only drank Knob Creek.
The K's have been just absolutely hitting it out of the park this last year. The Camp Nelson
As
E's,
you can see.
Yeah, the Camp Nelson
I love this
E's
can.
have been the E's have been kind of trickling out in the last 6 months. There's only let's see, A, B, C, D, E, F. There's only now 5 warehouses in Camp Nelson. They decommissioned Camp Nelson C, so that only leaves A, B, D, E, and F. So those are the only working rick houses in the Camp Nelson area for wild turkey. You get some more funky flavors with the Camp Nelsons because they're lower. They're a lower elevation, and they're right next to the Kentucky River. So you get all these different types of airflows. So that's why those Camp Nelson rick house picks are very coveted. You just get a lot of different flavors that are different than the regular like Tyrone warehouses that are up in elevation and kind of sprawled out. However, K from Tyrone has been absolutely killing it lately. So,
right. Yeah, this Camp Nelson pick was done by the Stanley Hotel, which is the one that The Shining was filmed at.
That's awesome. I love that.
Nice.
I've always wanted to visit that place.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That's very cool. All right. Sorry, I was doing other stuff. Did you go yet, Ed?
I've not, and I got to keep it rock gut. I got Wild Turkey 101 in a plastic pint.
Ooh, that is not rock gut. That is literally like the most.
I know, it's not rock gut. It's very good.
I did bring that.
It's very good whiskey, but I intentionally went out. I was like, I want to do it like your old Peckerwood uncle stumbling in with his plastic pint on Thanksgiving. So I think they sell these in glass too, and I was like, no, I want the plastic one. Give me the plastic
It
one.
needs to be plastic. If you're stumbling around, it needs to be plastic.
Yeah.
What is a peckerwood, Uncle?
I don't want
I
to
don't know that phrase.
You know, like your
I don't know
redneck
that
uncle.
phrase.
Your
it's the crazy
redneck uncle.
Yeah, it's the crazy redneck wacko uncle.
How is it that the two that are from
We're from
South
Wisconsin,
Carolina
I've never
don't
heard
know the term peckerwood? What is
Yeah.
I'm like, we lived with that. What?
I have like 3 of them,
What?
and they're
So
related
confused.
in
I
different
don't think I
ways.
have one on. I
No,
don't
but
think
the
I have a one on
whiskey,
one.
whiskey is still excellent despite being in the plastic bottle.
That's right.
Here's to that.
What keeps happening is every time I buy a 101, I like if I have a party or something, like that's always the one I pick to make cocktails with, and so I always run out of them, and I don't know why. Which is
love
unfortunate.
101.
It's actually good I looked because I'm thinking about. I was originally going to do Russell's Reserve for my Thanksgiving bottle this year, but I was thinking I might do like more of a head-to-head style thing of like a bunch of different Wild Turkey stuff. But we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, Wild Turkey 101 is still a blend of 6, 7, 8-year-old bourbon, and
Yeah.
every now and again, they do put some older whiskey in it, depending on what's available. If something else that's like 7, 8 years is selling really well, like a couple of years ago, Long Branch was selling like crazy for some reason, probably because of Matthew McConaughey.
Probably because of my
were-
review.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, obviously.
They were running low on like 7-year distillate, so they had to add some 10-year-old distillate to it. So
Sorry
every
about
now,
the.
every now and again, you get a little bit of a special bottle if you keep drinking 101.
I totally
No,
forgot
I
what
always
I.
liked.
Oh, sorry, I totally forgot what I had in my glass, and I just took a big whiff of this, and it was the crab thing, and that was what that cough was. I was just like, oh my god. I wish you could. Like, I don't have enough to send you guys a sample, but I wish I could because I just.
Listen, Bill, I almost bought it for my channel too. I asked for a media sample. They're like, no, it's so limited.
Yeah, I had to go there in person and then like pretty much ask them to give me one after doing a whole video with them. I'm like, are you kidding me? Just so.
Well, if
Yeah.
it smells like Old Bay, I can infer from context. I don't need to
Yeah.
taste it.
It smells
I'm good, yeah.
like something. All right. Anything else that you guys want to go over before we get started?
These are my turkeys tonight. Single rick house, and where's
Oh.
Nice. Well, I'll definitely be drinking the regular Russell's 10, and then I might, depending on what's going on, I might poke around back there and pick something else. But I'm running low on
Yeah,
all
we
of
need
my
you
good
drinking
stuff.
higher proof stuff, Bill.
What is this anyway? Actually? This is 45. All right.
90?
Yeah. Yep. Good guess. All right. Well then, Clifton, do you want to run through our patrons real quick?
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm still working. This is like,
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
about y'all, but like if your day job is anything like mine, they're trying to get a week's worth of work done in like
Yes,
the
of
2.5 days we have.
Yes.
So
And also
but,
the last hour of the day too. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So anyways, shout out to our patrons. Mike, Steve, EJ, James Taylor, David, Martin, and Paul. You guys can see what our Patreon has up for offer at patreon.com/Dungeons and Drams. Bill, you said you were posting something last week. Did that get posted or what?
So I ended up.
up.
Yeah, so I have. This is one thing with the Patreon. So I love to post behind the scenes stuff, but it has to kind of happen in game first for it to happen. So I'm very much at the mercy of what happens in the game. The last thing I posted was an overview of the Jewel in the Mountain crown, and I did all of the decks there, and I talked about some stuff that you guys haven't seen yet, actually. So if you are part of the Patreon, you will know more than the players do at the moment, which doesn't happen very often, but thought it would be fun. But yeah, so go check that out. And you can do a free trial too. So if you're interested in just kind of checking out what kind of things you'd get, you can go binge a little bit of background stuff. All right. Cool. So a lot happened in last week's game. A lot of combat, but then we ended on kind of a interesting note. But let's go into the recap. So when last we saw Snortimer's soldiers, the group was in combat with Pharaoh's air elementals. Gusts of wind threatened to send our heroes overboard, but they defeated the monsters and sent them back to the plane of air. Minor damage was done to the ship, almost entirely by TaLin. Meanwhile, Knobolas was below deck trying to decide how best to help the party, and he found himself whispering in the ear of Seraphina. He imitated the voice of his patron, Solgardan, and egged her on to join the fight and pick up the, I forget what the gun was called, but that big gun that you guys had. Now, Seraphina did, and she blasted Pharaoh Rainblossom out of the sky, and he plummeted down to the ground. But you guys did lose track of him, and were not able to see what happened. After the fight, the group spent more time on the airship, including Agnomeio taking a nap under the table, Knobolas spending a little quality time with Talia Ravensong, and eventually all of you went to bed that night and had nightmarish dreams. TaLin, you dreamt of an intellect devourer with a giant green eye in the middle of its frontal lobe. Knobolas, you dreamt you were back inside of a whiskey barrel, but people were nailing the top shut and stopping you from escaping. Agnomeio, you dreamt of Timbrin being captured by Pharaoh Rainblossom and being defeated by and fire elementals. And Alessio, you dreamt of several different scenarios where your sister Mia was being taken and you weren't able to save her. But most importantly, somebody's typing too loud. That was very seamless. But most importantly, the Chalice of Kings is no longer in your possession, Alessio. By the way, anybody in the chat, let us know what you're drinking tonight.
Emily said she's drinking some 101 rye. She's killing the bottle. Nice.
I really got to see if I have another bottle of that. It's killing me that I just never have it when I want it. Same with 1920.
That's my go-to.
Yeah.
101 rye is my go-to cocktail rye. Like I just love having it for cocktails.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the only reason it's in my house.
Oh, man, this
I like the way they cook their rye. They when they're mashing, they do it for a very short time, and that very much inspired how I mash. Because I was like, oh, I want it to be like that. I want to mash it for as little time as possible to keep as much rye grain, that spiciness.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, you guys all got a long rest overnight. However, although not exhausted mechanically, you are all going to awaken not having a good night of sleep. So keep that in mind. You know, you might be a little irritable, you might be a little tired, you might be a little scatterbrained, whatever that means to you. So, Alessio, you wake up in your room to see that the chalice is missing from your belongings. You had it wrapped up in your cloak and wherever you may have stored it ever since, but it is not there.
Is Agnomeio awake?
Pork and beans.
Oh, great. He's going to be no help right now.
I just gotta flop out of the whatever that is, hammock. I just flop out.
So Alessio just kind of thinks to himself, well, I know I had it before I went to sleep. And and we've been in the air this whole time. So somebody on the ship has it or knows where it is. So I actually kind of get up from my bed, my canoe, my hammock, whatever I'm sleeping.
I didn't make it graphic.
Yeah, and I said, I was like, well, I would like to Agnomeio to help me out here, but he's going to need some rest. So I kind of turn around, I put my hood up to give me my my extra level of sneakiness.
Sure.
And yeah, I start to maybe get out of here and move into the inside.
All right. So go for it. Basically, I'll jump in whenever it is appropriate.
Yeah, it says I can't exit the door.
Really weird.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it wasn't locked. I'm not sure why.
Oh.
All right, so you head out into the corridor. At the moment, it's still out here. You don't see anybody walking around, but you do hear people in the mess hall, just kind of from a distance. Doesn't sound like a ton of commotion, but there's something going on.
This is which deck is this?
So this is the second deck. So the top deck is right above you guys, and then this is like the living quarters. This is the second deck.
Okay. So I feel like everyone's having too good of a time to kind of worry about the chalice. So since I had that funny feeling down on the bottom deck, that's where I'm going to head.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we'll stick with you for a little bit. So you're going to go all the way down to the lower deck, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. So you come down to the lower deck. You descend down the stairs. Now this room is, just as a refresher, in this room is a number of crates, most of which look old. They've probably been down here for quite a while, and most of them are closed. The ones that are open that you saw earlier were either empty or had very little of whatever remained in there. There's also 4 chambers that are served as the brig. Within each one of those chambers is a single chair, maybe a book, not a whole lot. And then further into this is some large boxes that contain ballast, just a whole bunch of rocks. And Felicity had let you know that at some point, if you guys need to make an extremely quick ascent, you can dump ballast and the ship will rise very quickly, but it takes a while to come back down, as you need to actually wait for some of the plants to die. So it's very much an evasive emergency maneuver.
All right, well, I just kind of start. Can I roll perception to just kind of take a look around, see what I see?
Sure. Go ahead and roll perception.
19.
It's Futha with the brig.
That's what I'm thinking.
So you look around here, and you look into each one of the brig cells. There's nobody down here, at least from what you can tell. You haven't seen anything. You don't really hear anything. But what you do see on the floor, you can't tell if it's scratches from boxes moving or scratches from a claw or scratches from rats. But you do see some scratches in the floor that seem to be somewhat recent. You can tell that based off the little shavings of wood. But honestly, hard to tell if it's new or old.
Are they going in a certain direction, or is it just one? Is it like a series of them, or is it just one set of scratches?
What you see is 2 separate instances, I guess you'd call it. One of them has it's kind of like a curved, almost as if you were to picture like the bottom of a door opening. The other one seems to be 2 straight lines.
Curved and 2 straight lines. Okay, interesting. All right, so I moved kind of to the middle of the floor here. Let me see. What do I have as far as? Man. I've kind of checked the crates. Is that correct?
Sure, you can. Well, so when you were down here earlier with Felicity, it was mostly you peeking as she was walking you through. Like, you didn't take the time to really look in anything. But, I mean, you certainly could check the crates if you'd like to.
Yeah, I would like to check the crates.
Sure. All right, so this crate that's in front of you, why don't you go ahead and roll an investigation check for me?
Okay. Investigation. Oh gosh. Okay.
All right. So you move the top off of this crate here, and out from inside the crate jumps a rat, and this rat bites at you, and it's going to get advantage because of whoops. It's actually a little close. Now you notice. Sorry, it was a little too far, is what I meant to say. You notice that this rat, it's not going to hit you with a 9. But it does tries to take a bite at you, and you see that its head, you can actually see its brain, and you see little sparks kind of shooting from its brain. It tries to bite you, and then it goes right back down inside the crate, and it's tucked itself in the corner. It's just looking at you like,
oh God, it's one of those crazy. Is that one of those mind bender things?
So this you definitely had fought these. This is a cranium rat.
Oh, it is the cranium rat. That's what I thought. Okay. And
you notice that this rat's actually, there's a slight glow coming from its brain in about a 5, like it's lighting up the bottom of the crate. Had you rolled higher on your perception, you may have seen it.
You mean my investigation?
Yeah. So it's now kind of trapped inside this thing, and you see it'll stare at you. It's like, and then it's kind of running around looking for a place to escape. But it's in the bottom of this crate. What are you doing?
Can I put it to sleep with my sleep spell?
Yeah, you certainly could. Go ahead and cast your sleep spell, and then you'll roll.
Should I just roll like a D? What should I roll?
I mean, honestly, the cranium rat has 2 hit points. You're going to put it to sleep regardless. I just mostly wanted to make sure that you ended up. So you just cast this a couple of times. You had just slept, so you currently have 3 spell slots left in first level. So you're good now. All right. The cranium rat, you cast sleep. Why don't you tell me what this looks like? It's the first time that you've successfully cast this spell.
Yeah. So basically, I kind of cast it out of my hand, and basically, it almost looks like I don't know. I think of like the Sandman. So you kind of have like the sand that kind of shoots out and kind of swirls around the rat and just kind of engulfs him and puts him to sleep.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So the cranium rat, it kind of gets a little drowsy. It's still running around panicked, and then it just kind of lays down and falls asleep.
All right. So once he passes out, I actually pick him up and I grab him.
Okay. How long does this last? Starting with hit points, creatures hit, undead creatures, and mean to be. Sorry. It doesn't say.
It says subtract each creature's hit points from the total before moving on to the creature with the next level. Oh, that's for the...
Yeah, so I'll let him stay asleep for quite a while unless he takes damage.
Okay.
That's totally fine. He's especially because you so overpowered him with his 2 hit points. So he is sound asleep. In fact, as you pick him up, he's just kind of limp, and you see little parts of its brain kind of glowing in different spots as if it's dreaming.
Okay. All right, so I grab the rat. And I think I want to head back upstairs and show it to, what's his name? Storm
Magnus?
Rider.
Sure.
Yeah, Magnus.
All right, cool. All right, so we'll head back up to the living quarters. So you kind of come up here. You're basically facing into the mess hall, which is where Magnus is at the moment. If you want to head in there, then that's totally fine.
Yeah, I kind of go in here.
Cool.
Oh, there he is.
Yep. All right. So Magnus is sitting by himself in the top of the mess hall, and he's got this box in front of him, and he's looking over a piece of paper, and he looks at you and he says, finally you woke up. Good morning. Got some news share with you and your friends, but what is that in your hand?
So I woke up to a sound. And
sound. Oh my goodness. Sorry.
I had a funny feeling when I was training down below deck with Magenta Head, and she told me I just kind of had a funny feeling, and I was just downstairs and I kind of lost something personal to me, and I was wondering where it could be. So I investigated downstairs and I found this little rat with his brain glowing out of its head, which is something we faced before. Down in the mines before we boarded our ship. Any reason why this thing would be on board?
And kind of put it down on the table, and he takes a look at it. He kind of pokes it with his finger, and I saw some of these when we were escaping Erngor. Definitely no idea. I mean, unless it got on here somehow when we were escaping. That's the only thing I can think of. Definitely from the Underdark.
Well, since I've seen these before, I can't say I've ever seen it with its brain glowing. Do you know what that means?
I don't. I have no idea what that means. And
anybody on this ship who would know?
Maybe the alchemist. Maybe he's seen something, or maybe there's a book about it. In the library.
Maybe I need to find TaLin.
All right. Well, tell you what. I got some news for you and your friends. Why don't you go gather them up and come meet me back here? Have a little breakfast. We'll talk some business.
I'll see if they're awake yet.
All right. So we're gonna let's go over to Agnomeio. So Agnomeio, you had your dream, and you wake up just to naturally at this point exhausted, but take it away. And I'm going to pour some Russells, because I got to get this taste of crab out of my mouth.
Dude, I wake up. Wah. What is going on? Oh, okay. It's all right. It was just a dream. I'm going to make my way. First things first. I'm going to make my way. Oh, come on now.
And I'm not going to have Russells because the cork just drives me crazy when that happens.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't have the stuff to deal with that right now, so I'm going to pour something else. Are you having trouble moving your guy? No, you're good.
I got it now. All right. So I'm gonna make my way over to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And I'm going to. Oh, first I'm gonna go pick up Lil Grizz. Hey, little Grizz.
No, guys.
Yeah, so
You
little
pick him
Grizz
up.
is sleeping in the corner. You pick him up, and he
him on my
kind of
shoulder.
lays on his back for a minute, and you just kind of. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna make my way to the kitchen.
All right.
I'll grab a pot of coffee, reach into my bag of yum-yums, stuff a bunch of bacon in it, then into a cup, and pour like 2 drops of coffee on top of it. This is good, Joe.
Wait, did you just have like Irish coffee? What was in the cup?
Homemade coffee.
A bunch of bacon and then like 2 drips of coffee.
Okay. Okay. Seems like it.
And then I'll come out. I will come out and hello, good morning. What seems to be the happenings?
And you see a sleeping rat on the table in front of you. And Magnus and
shit.
Alessio are chatting about it at the moment. So.
What the hell is that thing? Isn't this one of those weird little bastards we killed in Angor Zuak?
Erngor.
Yes, yes,
Poke.
yes, my brother in Rapier. It is, but look at his brain.
And,
Yeah,
you
that's glowing. That's glowing.
Yeah, he's got a condition.
Uh-huh. Can I roll? What would I roll to know about glowing brains?
in this
What color is it glowing?
Yellow.
So, in this case, it is glowing purple and blue.
Oh,
To roll about this thing, I would probably say either nature, or I would say nature. Let's go nature.
I'm not great at nature, but we'll give it a try.
Sure.
You know,
Watch
my
him roll.
father once had the same condition.
Watch him roll a natty 20.
Of course he will, because you guys.
Oh,
all right.
only an 8.
All right. Well,
Oh, just kidding.
last game was 20 after 20. This game's gonna be some lower rolls.
Yeah,
this could be
yeah.
way more exciting. All right, with an 8. So you other than what you saw during battle of just you do remember that during battle when they were kind of charging at a few of you about to bite, that their brains were glowing particularly brightly, as if a lot of activity makes it glow brighter. But at the moment it seems to be like almost like little fireworks going off inside of it.
So, brother, where did this come from?
I found it downstairs on the bottom deck. I had a funny feeling the last time I was there, and I decided to go down there and see what was going on. And something's missing of mine, so I need to find it.
Oh, it's not something important, is it?
It's something very important.
Oh boy. Okay. Well. Okay. We should probably go check out what's going on downstairs, because if these are the little guys that eat brains, right? Or they hang out with the guys that eat brains.
They certainly do.
Yeah, I didn't. He seemed alone. He was kind of cowering in his crate. I feel like if they attack in numbers, they're a little bit more confident. This guy seemed to be defensive, like he was by himself.
Yeah, I still don't like it. I would like my brain to stay in my head,
Oh, I'm with you.
generally.
We all saw what happened to TaLin.
Speaking of TaLin, actually, let's switch over to TaLin. I did see your response, Knobolas, but I'm deciding something different. So, TaLin, you wake up on your nice plush bed, by the way. You have a nice, like, two-pillowed bed. This is where you woke up that first night. Booker is curled
I noticed I still got the bedroom.
You
That's
sure do.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so Booker is curled up in the corner, and as soon as you wake up, he kind of walks over and just kind of starts licking your hand. And what would you like to do?
I pull out some whatever I've been providing Booker for food.
Oh, sure.
Give him some of that, freshen up, and I'm gonna come up and get some coffee because I am dying because I had so many nightmares last night. Feeling white.
Fantastic. All right, so you head out of your room. I'll just kind of drag you over there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
presumably.
it's on my floor. I didn't realize.
So actually, I'm gonna go to you last, Knobolas, on purpose because we'll do a little bit something different here. But you join in the mess hall. Again, you see Agnomeio and Alessio gathered around a sleeping rat on the table. Booker kind of looks at it and immediately starts growling.
Okay, so I see the rat. and it's one of these little bastards that has caused me issues in the past. So we can see its brain. So before we were able to see its brain and see it glowing, that's not abnormal, or that is abnormal?
It is normal. It's
Okay.
like, these specifically do not have, like, their brain is showing. It's specifically.
Okay, yeah, I just like pulled back up my Underdark book.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you would remember from the Underdark book that when they work together as a like a swarm of them, it's theorized that they're actually telepathically communicating with each other in order to know where to go.
Yeah. Okay. So it might make sense that this one has barely, only just random ones, because is trying to reach out to the others, but it's been taken away. Oh my god, it's a little Borg mouse. So, I'm drinking my coffee, and I'm like, where the hell did this thing come from? Why is this a board? Is dipshit studying it? Because I would not trust him to study it. I could not find the alchemist's name. Sorry.
Dipshit's good.
So he's dipshit.
Alaric.
Alaric.
Yep. So I'm gonna assume that you kind of share the same story with TaLin. And while you guys discuss, we'll come back to you in just a moment. Knobolas, you are still asleep. However, yeah, because of course you are. However, your dreams, despite being locked in the whiskey barrel, there is something else that you dream about, and this something is a dream that's familiar to you.
Oh yeah. I need more whiskey.
That's perfect. Actually, why don't you guys? What are you all drinking at the moment while I get this all set up?
Where?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I found when I went out to get the 101. I found this. This is weird. It's a oak aged absinthe.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was
What
kind
in
of
the?
So I'm gonna give it a try.
What in the butt?
Yeah.
You and I have the opposite taste buds. I'm gonna say that right now.
It's 63%,
In the best way.
which is pretty good for like
Wow.
whiskey standards, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty low for absinthe standards. I think absinthe goes even higher. So
I pulled out. I wanted to compare my Russells too, so I actually got a Kentucky Spirit pick from the same group.
Ooh.
So I want to do a little side by side
Oh.
between the two. The weird thing is the Kentucky Spirit was more expensive. Like the pick itself was like.
I was about to ask, are Kentucky Spirits worth it? Because they're more expensive, but they're basically single barrel 101, and I struggle a lot with that.
I was surprised to hear it was more expensive. They didn't used to be, but they are now.
Yep.
I think the Russells is more my jam. This is fine. Like it's a good pick, but I'd rather have the Russells for cheaper and to me it's a better whiskey.
Is the
It's
mash
my
bill
opinion.
different?
No, it's the same.
No,
It's
same mash bill. It's just Kentucky Spirit is just a single barrel wild turkey wine.
101.
Yep.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
is it $80? Like they even told me like that's almost like what they paid like from the distillery to get it.
Right. It's not like they upcharged it a lot or something. Yeah.
That's not a huge
Yeah,
surprise.
I was surprised too last year when we did 2 picks of Russells and 1 pick of Kentucky Spirit. And when they bottled it, they found out that one of the Russells we picked was too low of a proof to make it a Russell. So
Oh, I remember that.
we ended up with 2 Kentucky Spirits. and yeah, when they got in for retail, they were more expensive. And they just said that they make less of that. It's, I guess they just make less of them. So I don't understand what the markup is and why that's upcharged for the Russells. It makes no sense. But
Listen, if they still had the cool feather bottle, I'd be down for it. But now they have this is like
Right?
basic,
Oh, do
like,
they
rare
not do
breed
that?
bottle.
Oh, that's boring. Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah,
haven't seen that in a
it's
long
the rare
time.
breed bottle now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I wish
Basically.
I wish it was the it's basically
Yeah.
I wish it was
Rare breed bottle.
the old school bottle. I miss it.
Give me rare breed all fucking day, son.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So you.
Okay.
That's okay. Thank you, guys. All right. So you, Knobolas, you find yourself sitting across from your patron Silgradan, and Silgradan is a large. You could call it a combination of a boar and an ape and something like a bat with wings. And this thing is absolutely massive, probably 15
Is
to
this
20
my
feet.
first time seeing him? Because I feel like this is Clifton.
No,
Oh,
you've seen him at least twice
Knobolas
before.
has- okay, just wanted to check.
Knobolas has, yes, yeah. Well, no, I mean, so we did. It was original, whatever. Anyway, so you've seen him twice before.
do you have an individual picture of him that you can show to the
Sort of.
the audience?
I haven't actually done an AI version of him, but I can show what he looks like from the top down.
Okay, it's just I can zoom in, but
Oh,
I doubt they can
miss?
enough. So
What did I miss? Where are we? What did I miss? What is it?
He does have a very hairy bear.
Knobolas's dream.
All right,
we're in his dream right now. Oh god.
Well, you guys don't see this for what it's worth. You're just
That's fine.
All right, so back to
We're
this.
poking the rat.
Yes, you guys are discussing rat things. All right, so Knobolas, you are sitting at a large table constructed entirely out of bones. In front of you is a rack of ribs from an animal you don't recognize, and across from you is a 20-foot tall demon in the shape of a boar. It's half man, half boar, half pig. So, it's man, bear, pig. Yes. And sitting to your left is one of the lizards that you remember, Kuto, from the lizard folk camp that you had brought into the service of Selgradan. To your right is Alicia Goldbeard, also sitting at the table. Neither one of them has any food on their plates. And an interesting thing that you see is further to your left, closer to Selgradan, almost blinking in and out of existence within this place, is Seraphina. And you see, I'm not going to continue to do this, but basically she keeps blinking in and out of her seat, as if she's not fully there. And Selgradan looks at you, Knobolas, and he says, "Knobolas, look at all of these creatures that you have brought to my table. You are doing well. There is 2 more seats. Seraphina seems like she will be joining us soon. But there is 1 more seat that has a particular requirement. It must be filled with a child. You must corrupt only the most innocent. Once our table is full, we will be able to move on to the next stage of my plans. And all of us will eat at this table and be satiated with powers beyond your imagination. Go in my name and recruit a child."
Beads of sweat just well up on Knobolas's head, and he looks down at that delicious rack of presumably pork ribs based on the pig in the corner, but he doesn't actually know, and he's like, "Damn, those look good." As you desire.
Excellent.
But first, should I see Seraphina seems to maybe have some hesitation. Should I prioritize that, or is the child what you want?
If you have the opportunity to nudge Seraphina towards our cause, that would be good. Kuto is a warrior. She is a magic user. You, with your charisma, can convince anyone to do anything. I believe it. If you need to, push her towards us. Alicia and I have our own agenda. If she asks for your help, I expect that you will.
Could you not send Kuto to gather this child for you? I mean, he's one of my... I mean, I brought him here. Surely he can do something his own.
Delegating.
Kuto has other plans as well. I have him occasionally convincing other tribes of lizard folk to follow me. He has been responsible for dozens of recruits.
I see.
I just love the idea of Kuto pulling up in a van and being like, "I've got puppies."
I guess I will be doing that soon. I mean, damn.
You want some candy, kids?
Oh boy.
All right.
All right. Can I eat the ribs? Are they good?
Yeah, they're delicious.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Look, Clifton's from South Carolina. He wants the ribs.
Listen, that's all I'm looking at. I'm not here watering. Like, yeah, I'll do what you want. Just give me some ribs.
So Selgradan, he points at you, Knobolas, and he says, "I want you to place your big black rod on the table."
Whoa.
Forgot about that.
Oh.
Are you sure about this? It's quite large.
Do not question me, or I will not grant you this boon.
So I slowly unsheath my big black rod. Lay it on the table.
Does it have like a little covering just on the end that you kind of have to pull back?
So
a little bit?
what you what you see? You unsheath your big black rod, and you place it on the table, and you see it actually grows slightly. And I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. It grows slightly, and what you now have is a rod of the Pact Keeper +2, whereas the other one was a +1. You now have essentially the next version up. So I'm adding that to your inventory right now, and you'll attune to it as well.
Do I know what that is? Is that like a thing?
So the Rod of the Pact Keeper, you'll remember, you gain a plus, in this case, you're going to get a +2 bonus to your spell attack rolls rather than a +1, and your saving throws, as well as, the saving throws of the DC that other people have to roll against you. Basically, it makes you a better Warlock +1 from where you were. In addition, you also regain one Warlock spell slot as an action while holding the rod. You can't use this property again until you finish a long rest.
Gotcha. Okay. And second most important question.
Mm-hmm.
Does the app figure this out for me?
Yes.
Great. Perfect. Sounds good.
So I'm not sure why, but it says like if you use it, it's going to be destroyed. If you end up using it, then just tell me, and if it gets destroys, then I'll figure it out. But never worry about that. So long story short, you're better at being a warlock, and you get an extra spell slot per day if you end up wanting it. You just have to use the rod. All right.
And it's longer, so.
And it's bigger, yes.
So
Knobolas
is just gonna like excuse himself every now and then and use his rod and then come back.
He doesn't have to. He's just holding on to it. All you have to do is tell me that you're using it.
I mean, to be fair, I've been carrying this rod for a long time. I
and
just
you've
haven't
never
really
used it.
It's just been part of. It's just been part of me.
Yep.
Oh my god.
If anybody is particularly perceptive, they will see that it is larger, but it is not immensely larger. Maybe like an extra inch.
Damn, I didn't realize y'all were checking me out like that.
All right, we're gonna go back.
Tape measure.
We're gonna go back to the living quarters here as you awake from your dream, Knobolas, and you're awake now in your cabin. You actually fall out of your canoe/hammock and onto the floor, hitting your head on this chest that's below you.
Ooh, okay.
How am I the only person who doesn't get to be in a hammock? And I fucking love hammocks.
If you want to trade?
I have a hammock in my lab. I got a hammock for the lab, and I have like 3 at home. Like, what?
Fine, they're canoes, not hammocks.
So Knobolas, you're awake in your room, and you check your big black rod, and it is in fact larger. You do feel more powerful. It wasn't just a dream.
Imagine if you wake up and it's larger, you're gonna feel pretty freaking powerful.
You know,
best dream ever.
You really can't, like, you should notice a trend here. You're all wearing balls on your chest. You've got a big black
We're mature here.
Yeah. If you don't have dick jokes, are you even a D&D show?
Yeah.
A little rise and shine action.
A little bit, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He's got not only a hammock but also a tent.
Okay, anyways, moving on from the dick joke.
Hey-o!
All right.
I've got my big black rod.
Yeah.
I've got my balls. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
All right. Do you head to the mess hall as well? You would definitely be hearing people talking at this point.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. I'll just drag you over there. All right. So you arrive here. Just for the sake of brevity, you ask about the rat, and you hear all about the rat. You guys are now surrounding Magnus Stormrider and a sleeping rat, which is sleeping very soundly. It actually looks quite peaceful. Alicia Goldbeard is in this room, however. She's sitting down. She's just eating her food. She's been there the whole time and hasn't really said a word.
Can I look at her when I come in and like to see if she's like I'm kind of still figuring out if this was a dream, was this real, like what was it?
She doesn't look at you until you look at her. But when she does, I mean, what do you do? Are you trying to, like, I get what you're going for, but how do you represent that?
I think I'd like to give her like a slightly confused look. And
Okay.
just to, like just no one sees this. Like this is as I'm walking in. Like I just would like to be inquisitive.
So let's do this then. As you walk in, she sees or she feels you kind of looking at her, and she looks up and she stares you right in the eyes, and then she picks up a a piece of sausage from her plate, and she kind of holds it sideways and she eats it almost as if she was eating a rib, and then she puts it down.
I thought she was gonna say she was eating my black rod, but okay, yeah, sounds good. Aligned.
Wow.
All right. So Magnus kind of says, "All right, now that you're all here, let's get to business here. This box in front of me, it lets me kind of send letters instantly, so that we don't need to use the messaging spell, which is pretty limited." So he pulls out this piece of parchment and he says, "I heard back from the Griffin Riders. They were able to make it down to Erngor Zuik, and they said that." And basically starts recanting the letter to you, and he says the denizens of the Underdark flooded into Erngor Zuik. The dwarves rushed to the city gates trying to escape, and many burned beneath the debris and homes and shops. The Ironheart clan did their best to defend the city, erecting barricades of stone and debris, which slowed down the Underdark creatures. The Ironhearts fought and saved many, especially while when the Silverhammer clan joined in and brought them brand new shields and weapons. Even the Goldbeards and the Platinum Weaves joined the fight, which typically they're a little bit less offensive and more like they typically would have just run. But when they all kind of banded together and started fighting against these. However, they were still losing. On the second day, they were able to hold out for about 30 hours or so. And on the second day, the Griffin Riders arrived, and there were 12 of them. Now, when you saw them, there were only 4. So they were able to kind of get some more to their cause. And they were led by Captain Valor Thunderwing, who's the captain that you spoke with. This helped turn the tide of the battle quite a bit, as they were able to fly over the top of them and drop explosives down on the creatures. However, again, still not quite enough, but it did grant enough of a breathing room for the dwarves to actually escape the city. I'd like all 4 of you to roll me a d6, though. And what this is doing is we're going to take the average number, and that's going to determine how this went.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I feel so bad. Does anybody else feel really, really bad?
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh, I feel like shit. I rolled a 2.
So we've got a...
Seriously, rolled 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, our rolls are awful.
You're right, we did. So that is an average of 2.5. TaLin, roll me a d6.
Dum, dum, dum.
We're going to decide if this is a 2 or a 3. If you roll
Come on,
1, 2,
Booker.
3, it's a 2. All right, so it's a 2.
3.
All right, so you rolled a 3, which drops that down. So this is I basically have 6 different scenarios that could have happened. So, in this case, let's see. In this case, they were actually able to escape. However, there were quite heavy casualties. As the Griffin Riders were dropping bombs over the top of the creatures and the dwarves were fighting, this more riled up some more denizens to come out of the mines, hearing the explosions, and they were able. They came out. They killed a lot more dwarves, including a couple of the Griffin Riders who happened to fly a little too low. And 8 of the Griffin Riders made it out, as well as, a huge amount of the dwarves, but there were still hundreds and hundreds of casualties. This was a massacre. But the rest of them were able to make it out into the wilderness and are going to be trying to make it on foot to the nearest settlement. So,
Magnus. So TaLin is asking Magnus, can you use your message box thing to message the other Erngor city? I forgot what it was called.
Kazork. Yep.
And
I know it's not
help,
easy to remember. That's fair.
Yeah. For some reason, I wrote Zazork, so I was drunk.
That's
Kazork. And have them send help for all the refugees, like.
So he
something.
If you remember that, he says, well, that was plan. Sorry, the original plan that you guys helped decide upon was for the Griffin Riders to go back and try to help. Otherwise,
I know. I wanted them to go to Erngor Kazork, but we decided for them to go back and help.
So,
but is there any way we can get a message to Kazork if you have this little box?
We did actually end up sending a message to let them know what was happening, but they're not as equipped. I mean, we have skyships for a reason, but not a whole lot of them. There's no easy way to move that many troops quickly. It's going to take probably a couple of weeks before they can get down to Erngor Zuik.
Oh boy.
But they're
But
already
even
on their
like
way.
aside from troops, just help the refugees and stuff. Okay, cool.
How are they going to help him? I mean, if you give him an idea, he'll certainly, send a message.
For Kazork to help?
Yeah, or
refugees?
anybody, really.
I just mean like supplies, like medical, food, that kind of thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How are they going to get it to them?
I suppose too.
Yeah. So if you look
Can you
here at
airdrop
the,
it? Can you do like an airlift?
Do we have supplies?
Can we do a Berlin airlift but with dwarves?
I'm not sure.
Airdrop.
Do we
I was thinking
need-
like iPhone? Like you're just gonna be like, boop, here you go. Boop.
My God.
They use eye
we
stones.
have-
So yes.
Hey, Domino,
Since we're
Domino,
using plants, we don't have like limited fuel, right? We don't have like limited fuel, right? Like it's not like we have to
Correct.
get to Kazork in a certain amount of time to refuel.
But
Do
you-
we have
Go ahead.
supplies we could drop down and deliver?
We don't really carry the kind of supplies that could support a whole city. I mean, the best we could really do would be land and pick up a couple of nobles, or a couple of important members
Fuck
of
the
the
nobles. No,
city.
I'm not helping the nobles.
But I mean, how do we determine who's gonna if we land? They're all just gonna try to scramble onto the ship. It's probably not the best idea.
Random question.
Women and children.
Wait, great segue. Are there any children that need our help?
Oh no.
Are you actually asking that?
Yeah, no, I know. It's like, is it like
Just
I
out of
agree.
nowhere.
No. I assume she
Look at
was
side-eyed and Knobolas.
I'm saying like when I said women and children. I'm like women and children. Could we help women and children first?
Knobolas
Yes.
immediately grows a
And then-
pencil mustache.
No, like I'm assuming she actually said that, and I'm gonna jump on board and be like,
All right.
hey, that sounds like a great idea. Are there any, where are the women and children of the city?
I mean, we're talking hundreds of people. We could fit some, maybe another 50 to 60 people, but we can't fit hundreds. Even
That's
the
50 people we could save.
they're probably better camping out in the woods. But put it this way, if you want, let me restate. When we talked about this before, we decided to go to Erngor Kazort. It's actually with a D at the end. I say it wrong too. It's the worst name. I should never translate from Dwarvish. It's like I should have just called it something else.
Pennsylvania.
Right. Yeah. For anybody listening at home, so Erngor Kazord is Dwarvish for city, shield city or something like that. Basically, the idea is that they're surrounded by mountains. So it's like city in the mountains shield or something like that.
Like shielded city. Gotcha.
Yeah, so it has a reason to be that. It's just a dumb word. So, I guess Tolkien can, with his damn dwarvish language. All right, anyway.
We sure did love languages.
So he says if we have to go to Erngor Kazord at this point. We are already halfway there. We need to go report in to what happened, and we need to go, maybe we can pick up some of the troops there and try to hurry them along. They'll get there a little sooner. But we have to go to Kazord right now. That's my orders.
Fair.
Yeah. Unfortunately, guys, we can't help them. Probably just let them be in the woods, and maybe there's another time and place where we can help them out. But right now, we got to get to where we're going.
Those poor
I
children.
need to go and pray for all of the lost souls.
Yeah.
If you need
Especially
me,
the children.
I'll be with the port.
Yeah. And Knobolas is like, are there any really innocent children that need help?
Like extra.
Horrible. This is awful. I need more whiskey for this.
The most innocent.
I am
Yeah.
really interested to see where this goes. I gotta say.
Yeah,
am
me too.
terrified.
This is an interesting storyline happening right now.
Okay, for real, not just for me, but I feel like also for viewers or listeners, like a recap, like Knobolas's motivation here. Like,
Sure.
why are you so dedicated again to doing whatever Sol de Gran something
So I can
tells you?
I
Like,
could go through this, but I'd rather have you do it, Knobolas. So say what you remember, and I'll fill in the blanks.
Okay, I was gonna say because I get the general concept. Basically, he's the one that's responsible for giving me all these powers and really empower me to discover my role in the world. I feel like I was kind of left abandoned as a child. I didn't really understand my family's heritage. I spoke with my mother, and she warned me that there's some bad people in this world, and he kind of took me in as I can show you the world, but not in like an Aladdin kind of way. Bill, am I misremembering anything?
A little bit. All right, so
Okay.
let me kind of go through this just because it's tough. I realize that we don't play a whole lot of time each week, so a lot of time
I
passes.
get confused with the, like Solgradan and then my patron, like and like the guy that like
Yeah.
took
Well,
me
all
under,
right.
so
I understand. So Knobolas grew up on the streets because his father was mad at him because his mother died in childbirth. So he raised him for a while, but as soon as he could get away with abandoning him, he did on the streets. So Knobolas ended up sleeping in whiskey barrels, which is where he got his name, which was a fun little color. So, but then Knobolas kind of learned to live on the streets, and he became very charismatic. He'd talk his way into parties. He started learning the way of higher society, and he occasionally would allow people to pay for the pleasure of his company. And one of these people was a gentleman who I could find the name, but I don't recall, who basically promised Knobolas that he would allow. He was a necromancer, or that was what he said that he was, and he said that he could help Knobolas to speak with his mother. And
Nikolai Blackwood, by the way, was his
perfect. It's funny. I was almost there. I was like, and something, but thank you, Nikolai Blackwood. So he ended up saying that he would help Knobolas communicate with his mother. Knobolas agreed to this and signed some papers. And next thing he knew, Knobolas was on the run from this guy because I'm kind of a little fuzzy on that bit.
Oh, I
What
can
made
feel,
you?
yeah. So I did, and then that first night that I fell asleep, my mother warned me like, "This guy is bad. Get out. No matter
That's
what,
right.
get out." And then I ran away.
Exactly. Yep. Thank you. So then he ran away. Nikolai Blackwell was trying to capture Knobolas or try to find him. And so Knobolas was on the run. And that was kind of when we met him in Alowith Harbor. So you then came
How
to
did he solve
realize
the
Well, I was like, I was
you
gonna
ended
say,
up having
Bill,
some dreams about Solgardan. Actually, when you first got your Book of Shadows, is that what it's called?
yes.
Yeah, when you first got your Book of Shadows, you had a dream that a demon was actually peeling the skin off of your back and used that skin to make your Book of Shadows. And then you woke up with this book that had all kinds of information in it about, your spells, essentially. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, you told the first part was the part that I knew. I could have told that story.
Okay. Sorry.
I am wondering the same question, Adriana, is why would Knobolas be so loyal to this guy that he's willing to sacrifice a literal child?
Well, that needs to be your answer. I mean, whether you whether you decide to do that or not, but basically
No.
Yeah.
I'll decide that.
Yeah.
I'm just
You definitely understand that without Selgardan, your power is gone. You have no power without him.
Yes.
So
Okay,
if that's
that's
your
what I
only
thought.
motivation,
You've been okay to recruit adults who are already kind of douchey or whatever, like Alessio and Kudo, like to him because of everything he's done for you.
yeah.
But
I think we're all
maybe
aligned
this
that,
is
like,
the
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, y'all don't know this part, but like it's like I like the power, I like the fame, but this is the first real moral conflict that Knobolas has had, and then we'll see where he takes it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
you worship the devil. That's okay. I'm not going to judge your religion.
In Seraphina's defense, I would like to say I don't think she quite deserves this, but I'm just saying that, and I don't play her anymore, so that's all I can say. Yeah.
so
Also, I
go
wanted to
ahead.
say,
Yep.
frickin' Leatherby absinthe. This is wicked good.
yeah.
I'm gonna get frickin' drunk if I keep drinking this. It's really good.
I was like, what is the
Keep drinking it.
Absinthe is such a strong flavor profile. How does the oak impact it? I'm curious.
It's kind of like, okay, this may not sound good to most people, but it's kind of like if you wrapped black licorice in caramel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If nothing
I
else,
dig
it sounds
Weird, but
complex.
okay.
Yeah,
I dig it.
that's cool. That actually, I would try that for sure. That sounds like a unique
it sounds
flavor at the
amazing.
very least. All right, so let's get back to the game. So, at the moment, all of you are surrounding Magnus. He just told you all about Erngor Zuek. Lil Grizz. Lil Grizz.
Everything okay, Adriana?
What'd you draw? What'd you
Oh,
draw?
was that not you? I'm sorry, I heard
Oh,
that.
no, it doesn't matter. All right, so Lil Grizz is on the table. He kind of wanders over and starts sniffing at the rat and kind of poking at him a little bit. And then he starts
I'm gonna push his head away like, no, little baby. You don't want that. You don't want that.
All right, and then he kind of walks over to you and he sits down like a dog and just kind of stares off into space here.
I'm gonna feed him some fishies.
So perfect. All right.
Wait, so we're all back in the kitchen or whatever
Yes.
with the rat and
Correct.
little G's there and everything. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So, so TaLin talking now.
Mhm.
Y'all, this is a cranium rat. They work as like a hive mind sort of thing. Maybe I can take this down to dipshit, Alaric's lab and see if there's some way we can sort of take over that hive mind and like get the contacts with it and sort of reverse that around kind of thing.
Oh.
So you wanna hack the hive mind?
I want to experiment on the stupid cranium rat. Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Well,
While we're
my
having this
concern,
conversation, can Knobolas... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, my concern is that there could be more of these things. That would be a problem. I think.
Oh yeah. We don't
I'm
even know
going-
where this came from, like
Right?
how it got here. Magnus
I
didn't say a
think
word.
I am going to go hunt in the lower decks and see if I can
Yeah.
make sure there's no.
Check the
murder
other
rats.
boxes.
Mhm.
Yeah, check the other boxes for cranium rats.
Mm.
And while I take this to the lab and start messing with it.
All right. So Magnus kind of overhears this. He says, all right, TaLin, why don't you go talk to Alaric, see what you can figure out about the cranium rat. That sounds like a good idea. Knobolas, why don't you go with Agnomeio down to the lower deck and take little Grizz with you. If they're truly rats, maybe he'll get a little experience fighting. It's good for these little grizzlies to get their teeth bloody. Alessio, if you
I'm
can.
gonna send Booker with y'all too,
Oh yeah.
so he can
I
help
was gonna
sniff
say
him
before
out.
I go, I was gonna actually
You can
stop by
sniff 'em out.
the kitchen to see if TaLin could give me something, hangover cure, or just like I had a rough night. She could give me something.
All right, but don't be long. Meet.
We all feeling rough.
Yeah. Well, you're all feeling tired, not drunk, but
No,
tired.
that's TaLin. TaLin's asking that. Like, is everybody
I
else
see.
feeling like? Normally, I sleep like a rock on an airship, but
I
like,
was not gonna say rough night. Trust me.
I am feeling rough.
I feel
today.
like my hat band is 3 sizes too small.
Hey, what's going on? Okay, so we're all
Oh, she
feeling
orders
like
shots
shit.
for everyone.
It's nuts.
It's
I
your
had
Bloody
this
Marys.
horrible
No.
dream. Do you remember Timbra?
I just know.
He was being
Oh, I
tortured.
wasn't.
I could not stand it.
Temperate.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
You
I haven't
told me
thought of
about
him.
Timbran.
Wait, I was there. Yeah. Oh, I was like,
I
why
didn't.
did
I wasn't.
You
Yeah.
weren't there. Gotcha.
I wasn't.
Oh, have you heard from him? Has he written you lately?
No, we'll have to check in on him. I wonder how that little fella is doing. I worry with
he's not
this
being tortured.
pharaoh, this king of Egypt running around.
Hey, let me know if you get in touch with him. I would love to see how he's doing.
Will do. Oh, I could use that message box of yours, couldn't I, Mr. Magnus Sturmreader?
Yeah. No, I mean we can use this thing a few times a day. What do you need to send?
I wish to send a message to. I hop up on the table real quick and I squat
course you
down
do,
next to him.
yes.
I want to send a message to Alwith Harbor, and it will read as thus: Dear Timbrand, I hope you are well. This is Agnomeio, aka Znoro,
You
aka.
almost
I know, I almost fucked it up. I did. I almost fucked it up.
It's
AKA
absent.
your mentor. And I would like to know how you are doing. Please give my regards to your family. And forthwith, also because, and this, Agnomeio.
All right.
Stop.
So he signs it Magnus Stormrider. He goes Agnomeio. Oh my gosh, is it? Why did I just forget your last name? Is it Banderas? Yeah, you did.
Banderas, yeah,
You know what it was? I got in my own head about you like just almost slipping with Zorro, and then I was like, is it like not Banderas? Is it like Mandaris or something? You know. Anyway, so he writes Agnomeio Banderas, and then he does comma Magnus Stormrider.
Attention of Magnus.
Yes, all that for that little silly joke. All right. Anyway, so he puts it in the box and he closes it, and you see like a little pink glow around it, and then he opens the box back up and there's no letter left. And he says, typically we'll get a response back usually within a couple hours or so. So you can check back with me later, or I'll find you if I see you. All right.
How
Enough.
many letters fit in that box?
Yes. It only works for written word.
Okay.
All right, and then he says, Knobolas, get your coffee, whatever you need to get, and then go down to the hold with Agnomeio.
I take a whole extra carafe of coffee with me to the lab and the rat.
Cool. All right, so TaLin, you're going down to the alchemy lab. Agnomeio, Knobolas, you're going down to the bottom, but Knobolas, I know you want to do a thing, and then he asks you, Alessio, if you'll hang out for a minute. Knobolas, what are you doing?
I like to go into the kitchen, and I see Talia is there. What is she doing?
So at the moment, she's actually just kind of standing there. Just kind of, it seems like she might have been eavesdropping a little bit, and she says, Knobolas, shut the door for a minute.
Don't mind if I do.
So you shut the door, and she says, first off, if you need it, your jacket, it's over in my room. I can get that for you. But were you up? Like after we met last night, were you in the kitchen at all, or were there any of your friends in the kitchen that you know of?
No, not that I was aware. What's going on?
Well, I got up because I thought I had forgotten to clean something, and I walked in, and as I was in here in the galley, I heard some footsteps over in the mess hall. But then when I opened the door, there was nobody in there. I thought it might have been one of you. But if it wasn't, don't worry about it. What can I do for you? You need some coffee this morning?
What time was this?
This was let's see. I woke up because I actually woke up because I had a bad dream, and then when I woke up, I remembered that I had not cleaned a pan, and I came in here, and then it turns out I did. It when your whole life is cooking, these are the weird kind of things you dream about. But it was probably like 1, maybe midnight. Somewhere in there. It was middle of the night.
Well, I don't know the details, but I do know that we all kind of had a bit of a rough night. So if there's anything else that seems off, please let me know. I'm glad that you brought this to my attention, and I'll keep an eye out.
Did you have nightmares? I
know I did.
I don't typically have nightmares, but I have been for the last couple of nights. Oddly, since you guys came on the ship, actually. I know that I don't know a whole lot about magic, but like, is there something you're all doing that would be causing this? Because I also heard from Roland, he dreamt that like his armor was dirty, which for him apparently is a huge problem. He's been having nightmares too. It seems like a thing.
No, this has not been the norm for us. We got on the ship, and again, I haven't talked to the rest of my crew, so I know that someone said that they had a rough night. I think it was TaLin. They said they had a rough night, but I do know I have also been having nightmares on this ship. Is there anything we should know about this vessel? Is it like
haunted? It's not haunted as far as I know, but it is. This whole dream thing is not typical for us. So as she was talking, by the way, as soon as she said the word Roland, you actually see he kind of barges into the room, and he goes, "Ah, Talia, I hear you're talking about me again. You just can't keep my name out of your mouth, huh?" And he looks at you, Knobolas, and he says, "Talia, can you fetch me some coffee, please?" And he walks over to you, Knobolas, and where did your jacket go? That was quite a nice garment you had there. I was actually eyeing it. It was very fine quality.
Your name is not the only thing she can keep out of her mouth.
Talia actually looks very put off. She looks very put off by that comment. Talia is a little put off by that remark, and she kind of looks at you.
I'm sorry.
She
I
goes,
just freaking hate Roland so much. Okay.
Knobolas, that's very inappropriate. That's
Sorry, just an ill-timed joke. You missed our previous conversation. Pardon, man.
All right. Well, clearly I'm in the middle of something here, so I'm just gonna go. And he walks into the other. Magnus, good morning. He shuts the door, and you kind of just hear him loudly through the door, but can't quite make out what he's saying.
Can I apologize to her? Like, hey, I'm sorry. That guy I fucking hate that guy.
All right. Well, I mean, don't. Especially in front of the rest of the crew, don't
yes,
make
I
a.
know.
Yeah.
That was very offhand. Can I get you a drink? Do you want this drink that I just got for myself? Here.
She looks at it. She says, "Your offer is appreciated, but why don't you why don't you go? I heard Magnus gave you an assignment. Why don't you go to the lower decks? Maybe come see me later. We'll talk again.
Okay.
And you should grab your jacket out of my my bunk. It's the one directly south.
I will do. And keep me updated if this stream situation gets any weirder for you. Let me know, because I know it may be affecting my crew as well. So I'd love to get to the bottom of it.
Okay. Sure. If I hear anything else, I'll let you know. No problem. And don't worry about it, Knobolas. I'm just it was a little surprising, but we're still good. All right. So, Knobolas and Agnomeio, let me move you guys. Little Grizz is going to hang out in the mess hall because that's where all the food is.
Wait, I thought we were taking Little Grizz.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You're totally right. You are. Yep. And
Yeah, him and Booker are both going to help look for cranium rats.
thank you. You know, there's one thing I wish I had done differently, and it was not having quite so many other entities. we have 2 magical swords, we have a dog, we have a bear, we have probably many other things. Patron. Anyway, all right. So the rest of you guys go off to do your things, and we'll kind of get to that in a moment. The doors are closed to the mess hall at the moment. Roland barges in. He's talking to Magnus for a moment, and Magnus says, Roland, there's why don't you go to the armory and count the weapons for us and make sure that they're all there. I heard Alessio say that something might be missing. I want to make sure that everything's where it belongs. He says, absolutely. This is a job that only Roland Stormwind could do. I mean, Roland could do. Yes. Forget that I said that. And he walks away and goes over to the armory. So at this point, Magnus kind of looks over at Alicia and he says, Alicia, could you give us a little privacy if you wouldn't mind? Just you could take your plate to your room. That'd be fine, or go eat up on the deck. And she just kind of stands up and silently leaves. At this point, it is Alessio, Magnus, and a rat sleeping in the middle of you two. And Magnus says, all right, Alessio, it's just you and me. We need to talk. You said that something was missing. If somebody on my ship stole something from you, I need to know about it immediately. I need to know what's missing and any information that you have about it.
Well, I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it's something personal to me. I had it in my person when I went to sleep, and now it's gone.
Is it a magical item? Is it like a picture? Give me a little something more to go on.
It's made of metal.
Made of metal. Okay. Is there anything else you could tell me? Because I can't go question people with just that. I understand it's private, but if you can give me anything else, that will help.
Well, it might be, it's gold, and that's all I can tell you.
Gold. Okay, so valuable. That makes sense. So let's
Yes.
think. Who on the ship? So most people on the ship have been here for a while. The only new folks are you and Alicia. Obviously Alicia has a gold beard. She's probably got more gold than we've ever seen in our lives, so I doubt it would be her. This cranium rat's a little concerning, though. It's possible that we have a stowaway. Milo's still a little new to the crew. He's a little bit of a loose cannon, pardon the pun, but he would probably be the first person I would ask. However, I have another question I wanted to ask you. I just overheard TaLin kind of talking about not sleeping very well. Have you been having nightmares as well? Because I have myself.
Same here. I think our entire group has been kind of bogged down by nightmares.
What are Magnus's nightmares about? Is it the Serafina won't get with him?
Girl, you ain't there.
I know. I'm going to put you on mute when you're not in the scene.
I keep muting myself too.
It brings me, it's funny to think that she's muting herself and she still interjects this much.
I know. Like, I'm muting myself.
That's okay. I prefer talking over not talking. All right, anyway, so I missed what you said, Alessio, if you remember.
I said we're all having nightmares.
Okay.
Most notably Knobolas.
All right. Well, I mean, my nightmares are pretty par for the course, but there is something that's a little different about them, and I'm curious if you've seen the same.
They seem more real, right?
They seem a little bit more real, but so what might have been for the last 2 nights are we're sailing the ship, and we go into this large storm, and there's this whereas like a hurricane would typically have the eye of the storm, in the middle of the storm is this large green eye. And it seems to stare directly at the ship, and then everything stops working, and the ship starts plummeting to the surface of the to the land, and we crash, and then I wake up, and then I catch my breath, I go back to sleep, and I have the same exact dream over and over again. It's really getting to me. I'm not being able to sleep.
It seems these dreams are attacking our innermost fears. From my dream, I wouldn't really share this with anyone else, but I do trust you. I'm dreaming that my sister, who I left to go on this journey, is being hurt, and I can't sleep either.
And does this have anything to do with the item that happens to be missing?
I don't think they're connected, because it's happening to all of us, and I'm the only one that has that item.
Okay. All right, I'll keep that in mind, but good to know. I've heard from some of the other crew that they've been having nightmares as well, but it's not uncommon. It's a little bit of a rough ride, especially for the newer folks.
When I was down in the bottom of the ship, before I found the rat down there, something didn't seem right. There was just I've spent many years kind of sneaking around and hiding in the shadows, and I get uneasy feelings very, very, very easy. And there's something uneasy happening on the ship. I can't explain it. I just have a feeling. I don't know. I can't tell you any more than that because I don't know. But something's going on. Something is brewing on this ship, and I don't know what it is. But we need to find out what it is.
Yeah, I would agree. There's definitely something happening here. What I'll do is maybe I'll send Roland down to the lower decks to help out the other 2. Do you think they need some help?
Well, before I do that and go help, I would like to go talk to Milo.
Well, no, you could go talk to Milo. I'm going to send Roland down there. I'm just asking, do you think that they need the extra assistance? Do you think Roland would be an asset to them?
I think it would be. I think it'd be helpful. Yes.
All right, I'll definitely send.
We don't know what's really down there.
All right, I'll send him down there. So as he mentions Roland's name, you actually see Roland kind of tumbles through the door, as if he'd been listening at the door. Hello, yes, Magnus, I am at your service. I'll go join the rest of the crew down in the lower decks. I will bring my sword, and none of these rats shall leave there alive. TaLin also runs in and she says, "Oops, I forgot the rat," and she goes and takes the rat with her because I totally forgot that she was supposed to take it with her. I'm sure she was probably yelling that because when she was on here.
She's got to study the rat.
All right, so we're gonna do this. So we're gonna I think just based off time, I think it makes more sense to go to the mid deck and go to TaLin. With the alchemist, Alaric Fireforge. So
you mean I'm allowed to unmute myself?
At this point, you are.
Hey, she can speak.
Yay!
So
first,
I've been talking so much too.
Absolutely.
Before you dive into her, I'm curious to hear her flight. What are the results? How did it go?
Her what?
I literally just poured more to make a comparison of I drank too much. That's
oh, then we should definitely go to her.
Result. That is the real result. Yeah. But Warehouse K is my jam.
Yeah, Warehouse K is the shit. So
that's my shit.
Warehouse
That's my
K,
jam.
yeah.
I like that way more than the Warehouse M was a pick the only pick ever that's done by the state of Utah, and as usual, they fucked it up. Not good. The only pick ever in the state of Utah of Knob Creek, my beloved, is the worst Knob Creek I have ever had. Like,
need to
but
get you on
like it's
board.
ridiculous.
Literally just email them and be like, hey, I'm the only person in Utah that drinks Knob Creek. Just like, let me.
Right? Hire me for just your Knob Creek picks. They've only done one, and it was like 2 years ago. But this Warehouse K, really good. The Camp Nelson, I dig. It's a little more rye forward to me, so I can see why a lot of other people would really dig it. But for me, not as much as the Warehouse K.
Why do you hate the rye? Let the rye into your life.
She's tried for years.
Okay. Yeah. I have tried to study taste buds to understand the differences of why everybody else likes rye. I don't understand. So, okay. I'm going to go experiment on cranium rats.
All right. Cool. All right, so we are now on the mid deck here. So the mid deck, you'll remember, is kind of filled with regular herbs and whatnot. The herbs are tended to by Elowin Greenbloom, who's a druid. But you walk up to the alchemist lab where Alaric Fireforge, you can hear him through the door talking loudly to himself. He's kind of like... So, what would you like to do?
I mean...
You hear a small explosion.
That is the most... That's the most accurate description of a scientist ever.
That's actually like usually how I imitate my mother when I'm talking about her. I'm like, yeah, I was talking to my mom. She was like, my mom sounds a lot different than Knobolas's mom. So
I feel like TaLin is excited about this whole rat thing because her idea here is that maybe they can sort of reverse the connection to the cranium rats at Erngor-Zuek and sort of like turn them against the Underdark, maybe, if that connection's still close enough. Sure. So she just like bust in. She just straight up bust in.
Boom.
She kind of got the vibe with Alaric earlier that he's basically depending on his like mentor's notes and everything. So she just like busts in. She's got this cranium rat. She's holding it by the tail. It's still asleep. No pain or anything has been, happened to it. So she's like, I need to look through your mentor's notes and everything to see, is there anything we could do about reversing this like hive connection that cranial rats have? And we need to do this quick, because the further away we get, the weaker that connection's gonna get. Okay,
sure. So you barge into this room, and Alaric, he's holding I put his little I'm gonna try something different tonight. I put his picture up where my picture is. I'm gonna try to do this. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so you burst in, and Alaric, he's holding a test tube in both hands, and one's filled with like a blue liquid, one's filled with a pink liquid, and he kind of jumps, and he goes, TaLin, you're late. You were supposed to be here at 10:30 sharp, bright and early. As I said, I woke up early just to meet you here, and you're late. It's 10:35. I can't believe you. And he spills a little
nightmares.
He spills a little bit of the pink liquid on the floor, and you see it starting to eat through the wood. And then he pours some of the blue liquid on it, and it just sizzles, and it kind of like neutralizes it. So he turns towards you, and
at least he understands that much.
He kind of runs towards you with these two test tubes in his hand, and he's like, "All right, I'm about to do my experiment where we're gonna turn invisible, and this is gonna be great. You ready?"
Wait,
that
who's
sounds
turning
like a
it? Who's
yes
we?
to me. All right, and then he pours both of them in his mouth at the same time, and you see like a whole bunch of just foam bursting out of his mouth, like elephant toothpaste or whatever they call that, and it erupts from his face, and he just he starts to panic as like it's way more than he thought, and all of a sudden he pops out of existence, and he just goes completely invisible. But you see the two test tubes floating in the air. And for about 3 seconds, he's invisible, but then he comes right back to it. And he goes, "Did it work? Did it work? I couldn't see myself, but I normally can't see myself through my own, like, where did I go?"
It worked. It was short lasting, but it worked. But I need your mentor's notes really, really fast. Let's go.
Well, I don't think
we could save Erngor Zuak. We could save Erngor Zuak. Look at this rat.
I'm really confused right now. I'm really confused. All right, hold on one second. He picks up some of the foam off the ground, and he's like, we gotta save this for later. This is a good component. And he puts it in a little leather bag, and it just starts kind of seeping into the leather bag.
I think I can help with your longevity issue. You know, you're fast, you're quick. It's you know, you want it to last longer. Typical story. I can help you with that. But first, I need your mentor's notes to figure out this connection with the cranium rats.
TaLin, the first thing you need
What's
to know...
your mentor's name?
The first thing that you need to know in this alchemy lab is that we don't do vulgarity. So please, your puns are not appreciated here. All right. Anyway.
I don't even know.
I don't have anything to do with rats. You don't need to know my mentor's name. But I do have something interesting for you. Do you want to see?
Does it have to do with cranium rat mind connections?
No, I don't know anything about rats. I don't do it. What the hell is wrong with his head?
Well, you need to. Do you want to save a shit ton of people or not? Of your own?
Oh,
wait, are you a dwarf? Is he a dwarf?
He's a gnome.
Oh, well, your boss's people. Your captain's people.
The people in Erngor Zuak, they're already like they're gonna be fine. It's totally there's nothing that we can do here to help them. But all right,
what if we could?
Let's back up a minute. He kind of wipes some of the foam away from his mouth. Tell me about the rat. Why is its head purple and blue? Why can I see its brain? And he actually reaches out with a finger and he goes to poke the rat's brain.
So it's a very particular type of rat. It's from the Underdark.
So since you didn't say that you were stopping him, he is going to actively push.
Why not?
Touch. Well, I gave you a chance to say something. He pokes the thing's brain.
Yeah, no, I'm saying what's
wrong? He pokes the thing's brain, and immediately that would cause some damage. And the rat.
Actually, there are no pain receptors at the brain, like in the brain and under the skull. There are no pain receptors. It would not feel a thing that would not wake it up from its sleep.
All right.
Science. Damn.
Okay, I am willing to take that. All right, fair enough. The cranium rat remains asleep at the moment. You quickly hold it back, and you know don't touch the rat. He says, "Oh, all right.
Don't poke the rat."
All right, no problem. All right, I didn't know that about brains. Neither did Bill. So, although I guess a headache feels like there's pain receptors in there, but no, I'm just kidding. All right.
No,
anyway,
that's all vascularity, and actually it
totally
went outside the skull.
Yeah, I'm not questioning you. Trust me.
Do not question her.
I'm absolutely not.
Promise, it's real.
All right, so he pokes the brain. It's a little squishy, and you see that some of the blue and the purple are igniting really, really fast all of a sudden. Then he pulls his finger away, and they stop, and then they go back to normal. And he says, "That's very interesting. All right, come put the rat over here on my desk. Let's check it out. I don't know a whole lot about it, but maybe we can figure something out." And so he kind of walks over here.
Okay.
And, all right, so I'll drag it. He says, "So I don't care where this came from, but what are we trying to do? You're trying to connect to its brain?"
Yeah. So this is this part of a species that has a hive mind, and currently the rest of its species is basically under the Underdark's control and attacking the dwarves of Erngor Zuak. So what if we can reverse that and signal the whole rest of the hive mind to attack the Underdark instead of the dwarves of Erngor Zuak? Interesting.
Okay, well, this is like a little guy, so I'm not sure how far, but we could do some tests. So he's gonna take out this little glass contraption from underneath the desk. It's like a little glass dome, and he's gonna put it over the entirety of the rat. He's gonna say, "This will keep us safe in case it decides to wake up, but also if it has any heightened mental, like telepathic anything, it's gonna glow." And so as soon as he puts it down, the whole thing glows purple. He says, "That's very interesting. So it definitely has some telepathic powers. The question is, how far does it work? Do you have any ideas of how we could try to test for this?"
Test for the proximity of it.
He walks over to his book and he starts flipping through pages while you're thinking.
Yeah, if he can look through his book and see if his mentor had any notes on this. See any detections of... So right now it's programmed to go after dwarves. If we wake it up and put a dwarf in front of it, we can see if it's still within proximity to go after dwarves, and then we can see like how that color changes and see if we can reverse it.
Okay. All right. Let's try this. And then he takes a little stone from underneath this desk here. He says, Magnus, can you come down here for a minute? We got a question for you. And he's, yeah, I'll be right down there. All right. No problem. Give me a minute. So a minute goes by.
Have walkie-talkies.
They totally do.
Awesome.
So Magnus walks in the door, and he walks over, and you see the little glass container. It changes from purple to blue as soon as Magnus starts getting closer. And at the moment, that's all that.
So it does alter the signal. So it alters the signal it's getting as if it's recognizing it's the species that it's currently programmed to go after.
Either that or it just, I don't know, really likes Magnus. I'm not sure. But this is definitely something to think about. How long has it been asleep? Has it been asleep a while?
Under an hour, I think.
Under an hour.
We just went up, got coffee,
sounds
and then
fine.
came down.
All right. Well, we would definitely want to keep it underneath this cage because it won't be able to get out unless it digs through the wood. But all right. Thanks, Magnus. Magnus, I'm not really sure what I did, but you're welcome. No problem. All right. I'm out of here. And he goes back up to the deck. All right. So the two of you are going to continue to work on this rat for a little bit. But let's go down to the lower deck. If Jason, are you still around? Actually, no. I'm sorry. You weren't going to be in this scene, so don't worry about it. All right.
Guys, I have to jump off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem, Jason. All right.
Okay.
You're good for the night. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye,
All right.
Jason.
So, Agnomeio, Knobolas, and Roland. The three of you are in the basement, the lower deck of the skyship. It's extremely dark down here. It's actually the first time that either one of you have been in the bottom of the ship. You see some cells to your left. You see a whole bunch of empty boxes, and there's very little light down here.
Do we have Booker and Lil
Yes,
Grizz with
you
us?
do. Sorry, yeah, let me
Okay.
put them. Yep.
I know. You're just saying how much of a pain it is with these guys.
No, I'm glad you said something. All right, Lil Grizz is he's actually kind of right. I don't know why he has no hit points. He is right next to your leg. He's kind of like attached to you at the moment.
Aww.
He's not scared, but he's I think he's just used to being with somebody who's gonna lead him through scary places.
Okay.
Wait, he's not riding on top of Booker?
Oh, that
No.
would also be great. Yeah.
Not at the moment.
Well, I guess I would ask, did they get us sent to the rat before we left?
Booker would have, yes.
Okay.
Roland is also with you. You see, he comes kind of clambering down the stairs. Right, he's right behind you, Knobolas, and he puts his hand on your shoulder. Says,
Oh,
Knobolas, don't worry, I'm with you. What are we doing? What's the plan?
I'm gonna stare at him very intently.
Inappropriate touching. I do not consent to that. I'd like to also shrug my shoulder off and look back at him.
Just
Mm-hmm. Good.
No, dude. Back off.
Yes. Exactly.
All right. Well, I think
sorry.
I am.
Hold on.
I think I am going to. I want to walk carefully over to this first couple of crates.
Mm-hmm.
Now, which one of these? Do we know which one of these the original rat was found in?
All you know is that Alessio said he looked in a crate and a rat jumped out at him.
Okay.
So I would say no.
All right. Fair enough.
Did he put the top back on? I'm so sorry. I know.
You don't know.
I would like to keep Lil Grizz near me if I can, because I kind of.
Sure.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna lean down to Lil Grizz. I'm gonna whisper to him okay, take it easy. We're going to murder some rats. I'm gonna say this in Gnomish to him.
Okay.
Das ist und Opportunität par Murderen das Ruten.
What language was
I love
that?
how many languages that was. Is what
Adriana is like,
Well, that's what Gnomish is.
That was good. That was good. Agnomeio Banderas speaks German.
It's Germish. It's like instead of Spanglish.
I was gonna say it's
Well,
Jamglish.
Hey, yeah, it's
Spangen?
It's
Germglish.
Dutch Spanish. There we go. That's
All right.
what it is.
somebody say spanking? Oh, spanking. Gotcha.
Little Grizz looks up at you a little confused. But you know, whatever. He's still sticking with you.
Okay. All right. I will pry the top off this first crate.
Sure. All right. So you, I would actually imagine that you might have a crowbar on you.
I wonder.
No, you don't actually. But that's okay. We'll just make it up. You find something to pry it open, or maybe it's not all that hard. You open this first crate and you look inside, and it's very dark inside. And there is some stuff in here. There's just some cloth of some sort, and inside the cloth, like you kind of stare at the cloth for a minute, and nothing seems to be moving. You don't see any glow. You don't see really anything.
Okay. Should we spread out and start to search the cabin?
Roland says, "That sounds great. I can't see anything down here."
Oh yes. Well, I'll light a torch first.
So Roland is a human. So you guys both have dark vision. He does not. So if you want to light a torch, that would actually be very helpful for him.
I can do that.
Perfect. All right. So
Otherwise, I
I
was
took
going to hand him my big black rod to hold on to.
care of that.
So yes, I light a torch right quick.
Perfect. All right. So you light the torch, and you see the room kind of fills with a little bit of light, about 20 feet out from you, and you can't see to the other end, but it's lit up. And Roland walks over, and he kind of very close to your ear says, "Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Dude, this guy's such a fucking creep.
I'm gonna go check out the brig over here." And he's gonna walk up over to one of the things, and then he takes a minute to look at it. He looks back at you and goes, "I don't think there's anything in this one. I'll report back in a minute." All right. What are you two
know
doing?
what, buddy? Why don't you take the torch? Why don't you take the torch, Roland? Since your eyesight is sheet.
Perfect. All right, so he's going to. Let me give him some torches. All right, so he lights a torch, and yeah, okay.
Knobolas, would you care to check? If you check the crates to the west of us, I will venture a little bit further east.
Was that a question for me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check it.
Okay.
All right.
So me and Little Grizz will go.
Sure.
So this is right here. This one right here. This is open already?
That's open. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll open this fella right here. The one south of it.
Sure. All right. So you go to crack that one open, and a little rat comes and pops out. And at this point, I would say you guys are actually like kind of searching for these, so I'm not going to give it advantage on the attack, but it is going to attack you.
And this is a brain exposed, glowy.
Absolutely, yeah. So a cranium
Okay.
rat is going to pop out of this. I can't make it attack you, and I'm not sure why. I think because I have Little Grizz selected, not you. All right, let's just bite. All right, so he's going to a natural 20.
Ooh.
For one damage. All right, so it's gonna do 1 point of damage to you as it latches onto your finger, and it's holding on at the moment.
I'm going to take it on my finger. I'm going to walk it over to Little Grizz, and it's like, all right, Dan murdering das Ratten.
I totally thought Adriana was supposed to. I thought she was about to bottle chug that. Like I didn't know if there was still a cork in there. I thought she was just about to go.
All right, so
The cork lid broke, so I had to bite it.
Right, man, you and I are both like two
That's a
two
pretty
bottles
clean
down.
break.
Yeah.
It's just the little black wax on the Knob Creek bot, so I just had to bite it to pull it out.
Worst wax in the game. All right, so
They've gotten better.
Lil Grizz makes an attack at the rat. I'm gonna give him advantage because you're holding it, because his first attack was a 4. So 19 to hit, and presumably it does more than 2 points of damage. So he's gonna grab the rat in his mouth and he's gonna shake it like a dog, and then drop it down to the ground, and he's gonna start pawing at it. And you're gonna see the little sparks in the rat's head kind of glow really, really bright, and then dim, and then fade.
Du ist ein guten Boy.
Little Grizz looks happy with you. Yes. All right, but that being said, there's another that was a cranium rat. So Roland, actually hearing kind of some of the commotion, he comes running over and he goes, another fresh kill by Agnomeio. Very good job. He's being extremely loud.
I'm just gonna look at it and be like, my friend, it is me and Knobolas. If you don't stop talking so loud, I'm going to kick you in the nuts.
I would rather that not happen, so I will quiet down a bit. As he's saying this, a cranium rat actually crawls out of the box behind him and attacks him as well.
I'm not helping. I am not helping.
So it's going to attack for 18. It's going to hit him, and it's going to do 1 point of damage. But this cranium rat, it jumps on his shoulder and it bites him right on the side of the neck. And Roland, he kind of grabs the rat and he picks it up and he looks at it and he throws it across the ship, and you hear it just kind of smack against something on the other side of the ship. And you hear Roland go, oh my god, it's on me, they're in my hair. And he pulls his sword out and he just starts kind of swiping it all over the place.
Dude, I can't.
Agnomeio, I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
This brings me joy.
17. All right, pretty good.
All right.
Did that rat die?
What?
From being thrown against the wall?
We don't know. What are you doing? All right, his attack does not hit you. So, but he kind of holds his sword up and he calms down for a minute. He goes, "Did you see where it went? I hate rats.
No,
I
was
hate them.
too busy dodging your flailing bullshit.
Bullshit. I'm so sorry. All right. Okay, hold on. All right, Roland, get a hold of yourself. You got this. All right. I'm gonna go look over there. I'm gonna go look over there, and I'm gonna find that creature and slay it. And you see the torch light kind of go off into the distance a little bit.
I like to look to Agnomeio and like gauge what the fuck. Are we just letting him go? I don't give a fuck. Like, just go.
I'm gonna lean down to Little Grizz and be like, das ist ein Douchebag.
I'm just gonna let that happen. I'm not gonna interfere. Just let it go.
So I totally forgot that I was still the gnome on screen. So thank you, Russell. Try to point that out if I end up. I want to do this as more of a thing, but I got to try to get in. I got to try to do that. Anyway, sorry. So you guys calling him a douchebag? Got it. He definitely is.
Can I search some of these boxes near me?
Absolutely. So you roll an investigation check for me.
My first roll of the night, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes there's not a whole lot of rolls.
Okay, a 15.
All right, so with a 15, so you actually, this like iron-looking crate to your south. So you find a way to open this, and it actually has a latch on it. And as you open the latch, you peer inside, and you see a small round object inside. It appears to be kind of like glass maybe, but it's not clear. It's more of an opaque, but with the darkness in here you can't quite make out more details.
I don't want to light a torch. My dark vision, I can't see any more details than that.
No, not really. It's more that it's very dark inside the box. It's very dark here, and with technically dark vision is supposed to be like a grayscale, so it's more just that you see a round object in the bottom. It's very smooth though. If you were to picture like a very large marble, that's kind of what we're talking. Like a think like a pool ball. It's about that size.
And this is the only thing in this crate.
It seems to be. At least that's what you see. Yep.
Can I pick it up?
Yeah. So you pick it up and you look at it, and it's green. Some sort of like maybe a jade. It's kind of like a slightly lighter color green.
Can I just like put it in my pocket?
Sure. All right. So you place the round ball in your pocket. I'll add that to your inventory later. All right. Knob. I type your name as Knob because it's shorter. All right. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. You poke around and you grab this little green ball.
Do I get more moves?
Yeah, I mean, you guys tell me what you want to do. This is like an open kind of thing. If either one of you has an idea, or if Roland decides that he wants to be involved, he'll make himself involved.
I might let Roland do whatever he wants to do. I just want to search these boxes. Like, there's no reason not to search them. I see another like guarded box back behind me near the stairwell, and I was just gonna check that out.
Yeah, sure. So you're gonna go check the other guarded box. Go ahead and roll investigation for me. Actually, in this case, roll a strength check for me. Let's see if you can open it.
What? How?
So the reason is that the box itself it seems securely closed.
Oh, does it? Okay, great. Let's try that. Knobolas is gonna risky whiskey because he's got a 1.
Sure.
Knobolas is gonna risky whiskey. Why does it have to be a strength, Bill? You know my strength is absolute shite.
I call it the way I think it. I believe it or not, I often do not consider things like that.
Let's try it again. Oh, okay.
There you are.
13.
All right, 13. Cool. A 13 is still not enough to open it.
Great.
All right. You guys hear a shriek, or maybe a scream, a very manly scream, and then a thud.
Oh boy. I scoop up little Grizz. And I pop him on my shoulders, and I charge on in. Even I don't want Roland to die, even if he is a douchebag.
All right.
Oh, sorry. I looked ahead.
That's okay. All right, so you race ahead into the darkness. I'm gonna grab you, Knobolas, as well. Well, you didn't say you were heading that way, so whatever.
Yeah, no, I'll go.
Okay. So both of you race ahead, and you see Roland, laying on the ground. There's no blood. There's no nothing. He just is laying on the ground, seemingly unconscious. His face looks a little swollen. And his one of his ears seems to be bleeding, but it's not like he's laying in a pool of blood.
Could I do? I'm guessing either nature or arcana. I don't know.
What are you trying to learn?
I'm trying to. I want to see how much Agnomeio knows about certain things that would eat a brain.
Got it. Okay. Let's go Arcana.
Okay.
Also, you guys are still fairly far away from him. Are you getting closer, or are you staying far away?
25. I want to approach cautiously with my sword drawn.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang back just a little bit.
Cool. All right. So Agnomeio, you approach cautiously. Honestly, in order to get a good look at him, you're gonna have to kind of go between these boxes. You could let me know if you're approaching from down here, or
no.
Over here.
I want to
or
come. I want to come right down the middle.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So you with your 25, so you look at him and you see that his ear is definitely bleeding. You kind of look at his eyes, which were closed. You kind of look at them and they're very bloodshot, and just something seems very off about whatever like he should have more injuries if he was just like hit with something heavy or whatever like that. But it seems as if maybe something more psychic hit him. I think that with your 25, I'll definitely give it like this was some sort of psychic attack. And it was enough to presumably knock him out, which despite his silliness, because you fought him earlier, you could tell like he doesn't have like 10 hit points. He's got quite a bit more than that.
Yeah, I am going to put Little Grizz down, and I'm just going to say to him, run.
Okay.
You scared me with that phrase, Ed. I got a little scared, but okay.
and then I'm taking out Pyroxis.
All right. So you withdraw Pyroxis, and the room lights with with fire, and you hear in your head, yes. What are we fighting?
You know, Urdos only knows, but Urdos help us. We're gonna kill it.
I'd like you to make a perception check for me.
That hung on a 1 for a while.
It did. I saw that. So an 11. You feel as if you're being watched, but you don't see anything.
Oh, this is bad. I gotta say, for the first time in a while, Nordro feels fear. Like Nordro feels some serious fucking juju up in here.
Is Knobolas picking up on any of this, or
well,
is he too far back?
From what you see from your actual vantage point, you saw Agnomeio kind of, I mean, picture these boxes being somewhat close together. He kind of squeezed through these boxes, he looked down, and then he immediately drew Pyroxis, and then he's kind of looking around, looking fair, even from the back of his head, you could tell he's a little bit more jittery than Agnomeio would be.
Okay.
I'd say that's what you see.
Okay. We had a long rest before the last round, right?
Yes.
Just checking.
Yep.
Can Knobolas go invisible?
If you'd like to.
I think I want to. This is freaking me the fuck out.
Okay. All right. So you cast invisibility, which.
Oh wait, hold on. The question was, can I?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, yes, you could if you want to.
Can I run up to Agnomeio? Because with my invisibility, I can affect another creature.
Mm-hmm.
Can I run up to him, grab him, and then try to cast that?
Absolutely. So you run up to. Are you doing it this time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine.
Thank you for asking.
No problem. So you run up to Agnomeio, you grab his shoulder, and the two of you go invisible.
Oh.
Was I not supposed to do that? Okay.
No, that's good. I mean, I was about to get the fuck out of here, so.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So can he see me? I'm curious. How does he see me at all?
You two
no?
cannot see each other. No.
Okay.
You're not. So that there's like another thing, like an ethereal plane kind of thing, but you're not there. You are just invisible
okay,
to the.
But he can feel me pulling on him.
Yes, like at the moment you still have your hand on his shoulder. As long as you don't let go, he'll feel you.
I like to pull him back towards the entrance of the room.
Okay, I'd like both of you to roll stealth check for me. And presumably you're leaving Roland there?
I don't give a shit. What are we leaving him? It's up to you.
Yeah, well, for now.
Okay.
I got disadvantage because of my armor.
Fair. Okay.
Oh, damn.
So, Knobolas, you rolled a 20, and Agnomeio, you rolled a 7. So as you are...
No, wait, hold on. Risky.
Yes, do it. Thank you.
All right, let's try that again.
Was that the absence?
Yeah. Oh, I'm pissed by now.
I think we all are.
Just checking.
All right.
You rolled an 8. It's one better. That's okay. So Knobolas, you're leading Agnomeio, but at some point your hand kind of slips from his cloak, and although nothing's wrong, you now have lost track of Agnomeio. You're both completely invisible, and you're heading. It's up to you whether you're going to try to find him again or not. But I would say with that 8, he goes kind of the wrong direction or something like that. Like I don't think you're going to find him just feeling around for him.
Okay.
There is something very wrong down here.
Is he saying this?
Oh yeah, I know. I'm saying this out loud. I am praying audibly. There is something very wrong down here.
Can I reach towards where that voice just came from?
Sure. Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, so you're able to reconnect with him.
And I just like to whisper, "Come now." Yes? No?
I'll do my best.
I wasn't asking you. I'm asking Bill. Bill just stared at us like that was not appropriate.
Well, I'm not the one. Like he can decide whether he's going with you or not. Like that's nothing to do
I
with me.
will, but
Yeah.
I will try to find my way. I'll try to find my way.
I'm holding him, right?
Yeah. At this point, you guys are connected. Like you're holding his shoulder or something like that. And you're heading back. Is your intent to get back to where you came in, or are you doing something different?
That's my intent, unless he resists.
No, there's no resistance here.
All right.
Okay.
So
I know Noro has dropped all pretense. There is something wrong down here.
Okay.
Sure. So I'd like you. So you've made it about halfway back to the stairs, and you see Booker and Lil Grizz. You can see both of them kind of close to the stairs, and Booker, he kind of stands a little bit more at attention. And you see him, like he smells you, but he doesn't see you, and you hear him.
I mean, do we speak? Like, how do we get them out? Adriana, you're muted. I can't hear us.
Oh, she should stay muted, but she's pointing at the screen.
She's saying something.
She does not want Booker to die.
No, Booker will not die on my watch.
We'll see.
Little Grizz, I don't give a shit. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
If Agnomeio can see the stairs, he is gonna latch onto Knobolas and just hope to God.
Okay.
Wait, so like you're dragging me out without?
No. I'm following you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. When you say okay, gotcha. Okay.
So
okay.
it feels like the two of you are pretty much holding onto each other and making your way. That way you don't get left behind.
I don't want to lose him again. Yeah.
So we're gonna do one more stealth check.
Ooh, that was bad. Wait.
Wow. All right, so you both rolled an 8.
Great.
So Knobolas, as you're leading Agnomeio, you actually managed to step on the dead cranium rat that Roland had thrown up against the box, which is right about here, and it makes like a kind of a crack as the bones shatter inside of its little body, and you hear something move up to the north of you. Just on the other side of the brig, you hear little footsteps, but like really fast. I say little, they're definitely a lot bigger than a rat. And you hear kind of like, let me see if I can do this properly, but it's kind of like that, without the keys. That didn't
like
really
skittering?
work. Yeah, it's something with claws is moving across the floor.
Can I use my minor illusion cantrip, which can project a sound 30 feet away?
Mm-hmm. So maybe. Let me just double check it real quick because I want to make sure it's not going to break your concentration on your thing. Because I'm nice. If you create a sound, its volume. I don't see the word concentration. Nope. Yep. You could do that. That would be fine.
I'd like to cast that sound. So north. Okay. I'd like to cast it southeast from here.
Okay.
So 30 feet, that's like right here. Can you see where I'm pointing?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd like to cast that sound over there.
Okay. All right. So you cast that sound, the same sound of the clawed thing moving across the floor?
Yeah, definitely the same sound.
Okay. So one thing to note is that Agnomeio can't see you, so he also can't see you casting a spell.
Okay.
So from his point of view, there are now 2 of these things.
He's still holding on to me.
He's still holding on to you. Yeah.
I would like to tighten my grip in this moment.
Oh, my head just drops. I am. Urdo saved me.
And okay, and you guys are able to, at this point, you get almost all the way back to the stairs, and you are pretty much right next to Booker and Little Grizz. And you hear the sound again behind you. You hear it approaching the crate that you just passed, probably about 15 feet behind you. You hear, and it stops.
Are Little Grizz and Booker reacting at all?
Yeah, so at this point, Booker, good question. Booker has turned around and he's staring towards where the sound came, and he's... Little Grizz kind of picks up on Booker doing the same, and he's like...
Oh, that was so adorable. I love it. Sorry.
I can see Little Grizz at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, I am running to him, I'm scooping him up, and I am getting out of dodge.
Sure. Lil Grizz, make a strength saving throw for me real quick, because Lil Grizz suddenly is getting scooped up by something invisible, and he's not going to like that right off the bat.
24.
But you managed to hold on to him, no problem.
24,
you kind of hold him by his armor, and he's not really able to do much by it. Almost like a dog with one of those little life vests. You kind of hold him by the back of it, and his little legs are like, but you can't do anything about it. And you rush up the stairs. Knobolas, presumably you kind of do the same thing. You rush up the stairs.
Sure.
You tell me. I'm sorry. I thought that you had said that you did that. Yep.
I'm curious what Booker would do after seeing that happen to Little Grizz.
I think Booker's gonna follow you guys.
Okay, then yes.
Because he knows your smell. It's not like Little Grizz isn't quite like, he doesn't have the smell of the nose of a mastiff. He can definitely smell you guys, and he's gonna not freak out afterwards. But he did not expect to get picked up by nothing. That was most of his freak out. So
as long as Booker's on the way, I'm out. Also heading that way.
All right. So all four of you make your way up the stairs. However, as you do, you kind of look around the corner just as you're running up the stairs, and you see easily 10-15 little glowing orbs on the ground.
I'm looking at real life Booker.
You see like 10-15 little glowing orbish things on the ground, very much glowing purple and blue. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode. All right.
Intense, Bill. My heart rate has been like crazy tonight.
Good.
I was losing my shit if y'all were about to kill Booker.
No, I was not going to kill Booker. I was not.
I was actually afraid when we were in the middle of the fucking boat. I was freaking out.
Awesome.
You're like, Clifton, you're muted. I'm like, I know, because if I'm not muted, I will get in a lot of trouble right now.
I am happy that you didn't unmute and kind of break the ambiance. So
I did.
He was freaking out. I loved it.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, so you guys, so Roland is now currently in the hull of the ship, in the lower deck, is potentially surrounded by a bunch of these cranium rats, which is what you saw. You, Little Grizz, Booker, Knobolas, etc., got up. Alessio's still on the living quarter deck, and TaLin, we might start with you. To next, actually, let me go over this. So we are not going to play next week. We're going to take a break for the holidays. That way I don't have to try to write an episode while I'm visiting with family. So, feels fair. Also, well, actually, I'll save a surprise for later. But we will be rejoining together on the 4th. December 4th will be our next game. So I hope that you can all join us here for that. And I'd like to thank all of the players tonight. This was a fun one, as they all are fun. I some of them more fun than others. I liked this one.
Oh, this is a good one.
This is fun.
And cool. Is there anything else that you guys want to plug or say before we pop off?
Based on what we know of Roland, it shouldn't take the cranium rats that much work. I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm just like, I don't even know this dude, but like, he came for my lady, and like, I said something really inappropriate, and I feel like an asshole. But like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
That's true.
It's all right. Presumably,
I said in the chat, I saw the chat. Like, I was like, oh my god, that was so horrible. Why did I say that? Like, it was Knobolas, not me.
It's all right.
It was fun.
Clifton, I'm going to assume you haven't hit on too many ladies, so I'm, you know.
I've never in my life.
They probably
noticed.
respond a little differently. I'm not sure. So
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. That's
Happy
the other
Thanksgiving.
thing we all have to say.
happy Thanksgiving, everyone. All right.
God bless us,
soon.
Good night,
everyone.
everybody.
Good night.
Good job.